Hello friends, welcome to my channel. I would advise all of you that before watching my explanation, you must go and watch this movie in the theater. In today's video, we will know the story of the film, so there is a spoiler in this video. Before watching this video, you must subscribe to the channel. The Pope's Exorcist film is based on the case of Father Gabriel Amorth, which were supposedly real cases. Gabriel is said to have been a part of more than 1 million exorcisms, and he is considered the greatest exorcist. He died on the 16th of September 2016. I am telling supposedly real story because it was written in the disclaimer of the film that the story of this film is fictional. The story begins on the 4th of June 1987, where a boy got possessed in Tropea, Italy. Gabriel talks to a boy who surprisingly speaks English, whereas he has never learned English formally. The boy calls himself a devil, but the father reprimands him and says that you cannot be a devil. If you are a devil, then possess this pig and show it. To prove himself, devil possesses pig. Gabriel gets the pig killed, and in this way that boy becomes free from devil. On the 2nd of July, Gabriel is called to Rome regarding this case. Council of bishops blame Gabriel for performing the exorcism without their permission. He explains that the boy was not possessed, but it was a psychological issue. He cleverly fixed his mental issue and assured him that devil was no longer in him. 98% of the cases that come to him are psychological, and he refers them to the doctors, but only 2% cases are real. Even though the church is becoming modern now, it should not deny evil. Gabriel argued with council member Cardinal Sullivan because he wanted to end the post of exorcist. Gabriel says, if you have any problem with me, then talk to my boss, that is Pope. Here we get to hear about the case of Rosaria, who was committed suicide. We will know about this further in the story. Julia Vasquez, who has shifted from US to Spain, with her children Amy and Henry. Julia's husband had died a year back in a car accident, and Henry was also in the car at that time. He had seen his father getting impaled and dying. Henry becomes an introvert after that accident. Vasquez's family does not have any stable income. Julia's intention is to sell the abbey after renovation. Amy is not concerned about this and is a spoiled teenage girl. Carlos is looking after the renovation work of the abbey. Father Esquivel comes to bless them. While exploring the house, Henry goes downstairs where he finds a hole in a wall, behind which the seal of the Vatican is made. Suddenly it cracked slightly and Henry runs in fear. After a while, the workers also find this place. As soon as they light a flare to look inside, there is an explosion. Actually, there is a sulfur gas deposited. That's why this blast happened. Many people were injured in this accident. Carlos leaves work and takes his workers from here. The moment the blast took place, Henry gets possessed, as if some evil force has been released. Henry says in a strange voice that you are all going to die. Then he's scratching his face. Julia immediately takes Henry to the hospital, where all his test results came normal. The doctor said that Henry would need the help of a psychiatrist, because he might be doing this because of the trauma of his father's death. Back home, Henry again starts behaving strangely. Hate is written on his stomach with a cut mark. Now he expresses his desire to meet the priest. When Father Esquivel arrives, Henry uses his supernatural powers to throw him out, saying that this is the wrong priest. The Pope tells Gabriel about the case and says that he should go to Spain to help Henry. Pope tells that because of this place, the church has faced problems in the past as well. Gabriel immediately leaves for Spain. On reaching there, he meets Father Esquivel, Julia and Amy. After this he meets Henry and he is very happy to see him. Gabriel shows Henry the sacred symbol. Then we can clearly see the devil's eye in Henry. Gabriel asks the demon's name again and again, because knowing the name he can easily exorcise him. But the demon is clever and is not even telling his name. Demon says, I know your soul and every shameless sin, Gabriel. He tells Gabriel's past that he was a soldier during the Second World War but was also a coward, because all his companions were killed in the war, but he survived. Henry suddenly vomits a bird. This is the same bird which was eaten by Rosaria, which we will see later. Father understands that there is a powerful demon inside Henry, and it's not going to be so easy to exorcise him. Henry says his sins will seek him out. He informs Julia that Henry is under the influence of a very powerful demon. Removing the boy from this place could be fatal. The only way her son comes back to her is through faith. He asks if anything happened to Henry. She tells he was in the car accident that killed his father. He saw his father impaled. Gabriel realizes her that he will not walk away from her and Henry. Trauma can be a gateway for the demon. Suffering can make a soul desperate for connection. It can make the innocent more vulnerable. As usual, unusual activities begins in the house, like cross turning upside down, voices coming from everywhere. Demon tries to scare everyone. In fact, he calls Amy in her father's voice and says that you all are going to die. Gabriel tells Escobar the demon is very strong. The boy won't last long. What they need to do is to find out its name in order to exorcise it. Escobar asks how they do that. Gabriel says with constant prayer, the demon can smell our sins if they are not absolved. Gabriel makes Escobar confess his sins so that the demon will not use it against him. Gabriel instructs Escobar to pray and not engage with the demon. Do not respond to anything it says or does. During exorcism, demon brings their sins in front of them. The devil tells Gabriel that he let Rosaria die, and Escobar still in love with Adela even after becoming a priest. Escobar gets angry and starts strangling Henry. Gabriel manages him and takes a break from exorcism for a while. Demon tells Gabriel that he took the bait. His holy church will crumble from inside. Escobar confesses sins that he loved Adela, and she wanted him to leave the priesthood for her, but he had no intention of doing that. His love for God had outweighed his love for her. He is troubled by this till date and used to miss Adela. This is what demon was using against him. Escobar asks who is Rosaria. Gabriel tells she was a girl that he should have helped. The demon is using her memory to deceive him. He says that he was a soldier in World War II during 1942. His fellow soldiers were killed, but he survived. He got this message from God, and after that he became a priest. Rosaria's case came to him, but she was not possessed. She was mentally disturbed, so he let someone else handle this case. His pride as an exorcist. The mentally disturbed, it's not his job. But that all changed because of her. To hear, after her death, the rumors of the sexual abuse, the cover-up within the walls of the Vatican City. He didn't help her when she needed him. Her soul is her burden, and this demon, he knows that. Escobar asks how does the demon know these things? He tells it can sense our guilt and uses it against us as a distraction. We need to find out the name of this demon. Escobar goes close to check on Henry, but he rips his ear off with his teeth. He also attacks Julia and Amy, who are saved by both the fathers together. Julia and Amy are sent to the chapel immediately. They together start the investigation. Gabriel finds that there is a well in the garden, on which the seal of the Vatican is impressed. When he removes it, many skulls are seen inside it. They find the symbol of the Spanish Inquisition there, the darkest time in the history of the church. These skulls are of victims who would not convert. After this, they go to the basement, where they find the same wall with hole. Gabriel breaks this wall, behind which there is a door with the seal of the Vatican. After a break-in in the door, they find catacombs. There were many old skeletons, and one is inside the cage. It seemed that these dead bodies were left in this catacombs. The skeleton inside the cage is of the Cardinal Protector. Gabriel explains that the cage is for his own safety. They do this when an exorcism fails, to protect against the demon. Escape to trap something they need to remain hidden. They find a locked door, whose key is present inside the skeleton of the Cardinal Protector. Gabriel takes him out and the door is opened. Further, the smell of sulfur increases, and after walking some distance, they find the skeleton of the Friar de Ajada, one of the greatest exorcists of all time. From his journal, they come to know that in 1475, exorcism was performed at this place. Then a monk got possessed. It's a powerful demon who can do multiple possessions. The exorcist becomes possessed himself. That's because demon owns the ground of San Sebastian Abbey. Gabriel tells that 200 rogue angels buried into the earth. This abbey is one of those God-forsaken places. This demon is trying to find them, to raise an army and destroy the church. Then he further read that in 1475 the exorcism had failed, and Friar de Ajada had become possessed. It was Friar de Ajada who convinced Queen Isabella for the Spanish Inquisition. It means when he possessed in 1475, everything that happens after this is the work of the devil. Centuries of persecution and torture, the worst abuses of the Inquisition, all started by the friar and done in the name of God by the devil. After a long time, when the Vatican came to know about this, the church covered it up, and they buried the truth here. The construction work must have freed the demon. That's why the demon wants to meet Gabriel, because he is also an exorcist. Demon wants to possess Gabriel so that he can once again infiltrate the church. Also could do wrong things all over the world. Possessing Henry is a way, the destination is Gabriel. This is the reason why demon said that he took the bait. They find the demon's name as the King of Hell Asmodeus. As soon as they know about this, demon starts getting a little distracted. Meanwhile, the Pope also learns about this after reading a letter that Friar de Ajada wrote many years ago. As soon as he reads the letter, his health deteriorates. Both fathers begin exorcism, and demon shows them their sins. But this time both are able to bear this vision. The demon starts to weaken with their prayer, and then Henry faints. God is not here appear on his chest. Then he possesses Amy and attacks Julia, attacks and knocks Gabriel down, and is about to kill Escobar by hanging him in the air. Henry also could not survive for long. demon asks Gabriel to surrender, only then he will spare their lives. Seeing everyone dying, Gabriel surrenders. He gets possessed and everyone else gets fine. Escobar asks the Vasquez family to leave. Gabriel knows that the demon wants to enter the Vatican through him. He will infiltrate the church and don't know how many lives will be lost in it. That is why he tries to kill himself by hanging, but Asmodeus does not allow him to do so. Gabriel heads to the catacombs vomiting blood so he can burn himself. Gabriel sees Mother Mary, but this is also a trick of demon. She instantly transforms into Rosaria and attacks him. Escobar also reaches there searching for him. Then he begins Latin prayer holding the cross. Gabriel is quite possessed and is sitting in the friar's chair just like him. Adela attacks Escobar, but he is able to break this vision with the help of a cross, then passes this cross to Gabriel, and now he too can break Rosaria's vision with the cross. Then they pray the final rites. In front of their dual prayers, Asmodeus cannot last long and finally gets exhausted. It ends by burning. Now everything becomes normal. After this, the health of the Pope also gets cured. Gabriel and Escobar visit the Pope. He praises both of them, as well as thanks them, because they have saved the Vatican from great danger. He also informs Cardinal Sullivan has taken a sabbatical in the Isle of Guam. He introduces them to Bishop Lumumba, who will take over the further proceedings. Lumumba tells that he is now decoding the friar's found journal. The Vatican has purchased the abbey from the Vasquez family and deconsecrated the soil. The family has safely relocated back to the US, where the boy made a full recovery. The friar's diary is proving very useful despite his abhorrence. Asmodeus has been defeated, but there are many more to be found. Soon we will know all of the other 199 sites on Earth where God is not welcome. Those places will have to be exorcised by Gabriel and Escobar together. This is where the film ends. So this is the story of the Pope's Exorcist 2023. Don't forget to subscribe before leaving. Thanks for watching.